The Book of Ruth, a short but powerful narrative in the Bible, tells the story of love, loyalty, and redemption during the time of the judges. It highlights the lives of Ruth, a Moabite woman, and her mother-in-law, Naomi, an Israelite. Key themes and events. 1. Naomi's loss and return to Bethlehem. The story begins with Naomi, her husband Elimelech, and their 2 sons leaving Bethlehem due to a famine. They settle in Moab, where Elimelech dies. Naomi's sons marry Moabite women, Ruth and Orpah, but both sons also die, leaving Naomi and her daughters-in-law widowed. Naomi decides to return to Bethlehem after hearing that the famine has ended and urges Ruth and Orpah to stay in Moab. 2. Ruth's loyalty. Orpah returns to her family, but Ruth refuses to leave Naomi, uttering the famous words, "Where you go, I will go. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God." Ruth's loyalty to Naomi and her willingness to leave her homeland and adopt Naomi's faith and people is a central theme of the book. 3. Gleaning in the fields of Boaz. Back in Bethlehem, Ruth gleans in the fields to provide for herself and Naomi. She happens to work in the field of Boaz, a relative of Elimelech. Boaz notices Ruth, admires her loyalty to Naomi, and ensures she is treated kindly. He provides her with protection and extra grain. 4. Boaz as the kinsman redeemer. Naomi realizes that Boaz is a potential kinsman redeemer for their family, a relative who could marry Ruth and preserve the family line. Following Naomi's advice, Ruth approaches Boaz on the threshing floor, asking him to take on this role. Boaz is willing, but must first ensure that a closer relative, who has the first right of redemption, declines the responsibility. Ruth and Boaz marry. The closer relative relinquishes his right, and Boaz marries Ruth. Their union is blessed by the community, and Ruth gives birth to a son named Obed. Naomi becomes the child's nurse, and the women of Bethlehem praise God for providing Naomi with a redeemer. 6. The lineage of David. The book concludes by noting that Obed is the grandfather of King David, establishing Ruth as an ancestor of the Davidic line and ultimately of Jesus Christ. Conclusion. The Book of Ruth is a story of God's providence, showing how he works through the faithfulness of ordinary people to fulfill his divine plan. Ruth's journey from a foreign widow to the great-grandmother of King David exemplifies themes of loyalty, kindness, and redemption. The narrative highlights the importance of family, community, and trusting in God's provision, even in difficult circumstances.
Remember laughing every time you drove a little faster over that dip in the road, singing along to Don Francisco. He's alive, always put a thrill